Did you know there's a moment in life that changes everything? An instant, a decision, and nothing is ever the same again. If you're reading these words right now, it's not by chance. There's something the universe wants you to hear, because today could be the day when everything takes a radical turn in your life. Stay until the end, because what you're about to discover could be exactly what you need to transform your destiny. There are days that go unnoticed, days that seem to blend one after another in an endless routine. But this is not one of those days. Something, somewhere brought you here, and it wasn't an accident. Perhaps you didn't know it, but within you, there has always existed a voice that yearns for more clarity, more purpose, more life. That same silent but persistent voice has guided you to this moment. Today is not just any day. Today is the day when your life could take a radical turn, because coincidences don't exist. If you're here, it's because you're ready to receive a message that has the power to change everything. Life speaks to us in mysterious ways, through small signs, unexpected encounters, words that arrive at just the right moment. The problem is that many times we're not attentive enough to recognize them. We're so tied up in the rush of daily life that we ignore moments that could be decisive. But this moment is different. Something stopped you. Something made you stay to hear these words. And that simple act of stopping is already a step toward change. This is your call, and the question is, are you willing to listen to it? Think about everything you've lived through until now. Every step, every fall, every victory. Even the darkest moments have prepared you for this instant. You may not see it yet, but all those experiences, good or bad, were pieces of a puzzle that today begins to take shape. We've all taken refuge at some point in the idea of the perfect tomorrow, that magical day when suddenly everything will be aligned. You'll have more time, more energy, more resources, more confidence. But have you noticed that day never comes? It's a mental trap we build to postpone the inevitable, an excuse that keeps us comfortable while time continues to advance. We say we'll do things tomorrow, but that tomorrow turns into weeks, months, years. And when we look back, we realize nothing has changed. Procrastination is the silent thief of our dreams. It promises us a false sense of security by avoiding the risks of the present. But what it really does is chain us to inaction. Think about it. How many times have you said you would start something important and then postponed it? Maybe it was that project you so desired, that call you never made, that idea you let die in oblivion. You always believe there will be time, but time waits for no one. Every day you let pass, you lose an opportunity to get closer to the life you truly desire. The truth is that there will never be a perfect moment. You will never have all the answers. You will never feel completely ready. And that's okay. Perfection is an illusion, an excuse not to face our fears. What really matters is not what you have now, but what you're willing to do with it. You don't need to wait until you have more time or more resources. You need to start with what you have, here and now. Change begins when you break that cycle of endless waiting. Today you have a unique opportunity to decide that you won't wait any longer. It won't be easy, but it will be the first step towards something much greater. So ask yourself, are you going to keep waiting for a tomorrow that never comes? Or are you going to start building your future today? Life may seem like a long chain of identical days, but in reality, it's made up of decisive moments. Those instants when something changes within you, when you make a decision that alters the course of your life forever. What's interesting is that we often don't recognize these moments when they occur. It could be a casual conversation, an unexpected opportunity, or even reading these words right now. But if you're here, listening to these words, it's possible that this is one of those instants for you. Every great transformation in life begins with a decision. People who achieve extraordinary things aren't different from you. They simply decided to act when most people stayed waiting. Think about someone you admire, someone who has achieved success or overcome great obstacles. That person also had doubts, fears, moments of uncertainty. But there was a day, a specific moment when they said, "Enough, it's time to change." That was the beginning of their transformation. And the same can happen with you. The power of a decision isn't in what you do at the moment, but in what it triggers afterward. When you consciously decide to change something in your life, you send a clear message to the universe, to your mind, to everything around you. That message says, "I'm ready." And when you're ready, opportunities that previously seemed invisible begin to appear. Doors that were closed start to open, and things that seemed impossible become attainable. This could be that moment for you, the instant when you decide to leave behind your doubts and fears and take the first step toward a new life. It doesn't matter how big or small that step is. What matters is that you take it. So ask yourself, what decision are you going to make today to change your life? Because in this moment, you have the power to transform your future. Nothing you've experienced until now is coincidental, and the fact that you're here at this moment isn't either. The universe has put this message in front of you for a reason, because you're ready to take the next step toward your purpose. If you believe that you are chosen, write in the comments, "I believe," and subscribe to the channel. The human mind is one of the most powerful resources, and at the same time, one of the most underestimated. From the moment we're born, our mind begins to absorb information, to be shaped by experiences, beliefs, and the words we hear. However, what few people know is that our mind isn't fixed. It's like a muscle that can be trained, strengthened, and reprogrammed. If you feel you're not living up to your maximum potential, it's not because you lack talent or ability, but because you haven't learned to unlock everything that's already inside you. Neuroscience has shown that our brain is incredibly plastic, which means it can adapt and change throughout our lives. This means that the limiting thoughts you have today don't have to define your tomorrow. Every time you choose a positive thought, act with courage, or decide to break a toxic habit, you're literally reconfiguring the neural connections in your brain. It's a process that doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, you can completely transform the way you think, feel, and act. The true power of the mind doesn't just lie in its capacity to learn, but in its ability to create realities. Everything you see around you was once just an idea in someone's mind. A building, a book, a technology, even these words you're reading. Now, your thoughts are seeds, and the way you cultivate them will determine the type of life you'll harvest. If you sow doubts and fears, that's what will grow. But if you choose to sow with determination and vision, the future you'll build will be much greater than you ever imagined. The first step to unlocking your true potential is simple but powerful. You must believe it's possible. All change begins with a belief, with a thought that says, "I can do this." If you manage to train your mind to hold on to that belief, even when obstacles seem insurmountable, you'll discover there's no limit to what you can achieve. The question is, are you ready to start training your mind and unlocking all your potential? Throughout history, we've heard of people who achieved incredible things against all odds. Their lives seem like movies. They start from nothing, face unimaginable difficulties, and somehow manage to transform their reality. But what we often forget is that these stories aren't just inspiring, they're also a reminder of what we're all capable of doing if we make the right decisions. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey, who grew up in absolute poverty, facing abuse and rejection. No one would have imagined she would become one of the most influential women in the world. How did she do it? It all began with a decision, not to let her past define her future. Then there's the story of J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter saga while living as a single mother, surviving on social assistance. No one believed in her, but she believed in herself. The key in these stories isn't luck or supernatural talent. It's the combination of vision, action, and resilience. Each of these people faced failure, rejection, and doubt, but they never let that stop them. They understood something fundamental. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every small step counts. Every time you choose to move forward, even if it's just 1 millimeter, you're closer to becoming the person you want to be. You too can be the protagonist of a story like this. No matter what your current situation is or how many challenges you face, the real question isn't whether you can achieve it, but whether you're willing to try. Because change isn't a matter of luck, it's a matter of action. What are you going to do today to start writing your own story of transformation? Sometimes, the things that hold us back the most aren't visible to the naked eye. They're those invisible chains we carry with us. Limiting beliefs, destructive habits, toxic relationships. We cling to them because somehow they make us feel safe, even though they're dragging us down. But if you want to truly change your life, the first thing you must do is identify what's tying you down and find the courage to let it go. Limiting beliefs are one of the greatest enemies of progress. They're those little voices in your head that say, "I'm not good enough, this isn't for me, I'll never achieve it." The most dangerous thing about these beliefs is that they seem real, but they're not. They're just stories your mind has repeated so many times that you've accepted them as truths. The good news is that just as you learn to believe in them, you can also unlearn them. Destructive habits are another powerful chain. Maybe it's procrastination, lack of discipline, or even the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. These habits act like anchors, keeping you in the same place when you should be moving forward. But no habit is permanent. With enough determination and practice, you can replace them with habits that propel you forward. Finally, there are toxic relationships. Sometimes the people we love the most are the ones who hold us back the most, whether out of jealousy, fear, or insecurity. It's painful but necessary to recognize when a relationship is no longer healthy and take measures to protect your well-being. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to prioritize your happiness and growth. What chain are you willing to let go of today to move toward your best version? Imagine for a moment your life a year from now. Not the life you have today, but the life you could have if you decided to start now. Visualize every detail, how you feel when you wake up, what you see when you look around you, what you've achieved. That future full of possibilities isn't an unattainable dream. It's a reality that can be built step by step with the decisions you make from this moment on. However, this vision won't materialize on its own. Many people spend their lives dreaming of a better future, but never do anything to achieve it. Do you know what the difference is between those who achieve their goals and those who don't? Action. While some remain trapped in fantasy, others get to work, even when they don't have all the answers, even when the path is uncertain. And those small daily actions, repeated with consistency, are what turn dreams into reality. Now, imagine the opposite scenario. Where will you be a year from now if you decide to do nothing? Think about the days that will pass exactly like today. The opportunities you'll let slip away, the regret that might accompany you. Are you willing to live with that feeling of, what if I had tried? The truth is that time will continue to advance with or without your permission. The question is, are you going to let it pass without taking advantage of it, or are you going to take control of your future? This is your moment to decide. You don't have to know exactly how to reach your destination. You just need to take the first step. Today is the day to look ahead and commit to yourself. In a year, when you look back, you'll be grateful you made this decision because the future you desire isn't a distant place. It begins here. It begins today. Changing your life doesn't require a dramatic turn from one day to the next. In fact, the most enduring transformations are those built little by little, with small but consistent steps. That's why I want to propose a challenge. The next 7 days will be the beginning of your journey toward transformation. 7 days to break old patterns, establish new habits, and begin to create the life you desire. The challenge is simple but powerful. Each day, you'll focus on a small action, that brings you closer to your goal. Maybe it's waking up early, writing down your objectives, reading something inspiring, or simply dedicating a few minutes to reflect on what you truly want in life. What's important isn't the magnitude of the action, but the consistency, because each small step is a signal to yourself that you're committed to your own growth. Why 7 days? Because this is enough time to start creating momentum. Science has shown that repetition is key to forming new habits, and although a complete change may take more time, a week is the perfect beginning. It's like lighting a spark that will eventually become a fire that cannot be extinguished. Each day you complete, you'll be one step closer to becoming the person you've always wanted to be. This challenge won't be easy. There will be days when you doubt, when you'll want to give up. But remember, change doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort. Each time you overcome an excuse, each time you push yourself a little harder, you'll be building a stronger and more determined version of yourself. Are you ready to accept this challenge and take the first step toward your new life? We constantly live trapped between two times: the past, which fills us with regrets and nostalgia, and the future, which feeds our hopes and anxieties. But the only thing we really have is the now, this instant. Here and now is the only moment in which you can take action and transform your life. The problem is that we tend to underestimate it. We believe change will come later, at another time, when we have more time, or when circumstances are more favorable. The truth is that now is your only opportunity. Every second you let pass without acting is a second lost forever. And while it can be intimidating to think about the responsibility that comes with living in the present, it's also liberating to know you have the power to change your story. Not tomorrow, not in a year, but right at this moment. Taking advantage of the now means putting aside excuses and focusing on what really matters. You don't need to be perfect or have a detailed plan. You just need to take concrete action. Each small step you take today has the potential to trigger a domino effect that will positively impact your future. The most powerful moment of your life isn't a memory from the past or a dream of the future. It's this one, right now. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Take a deep breath, take control, and act. Because in this instant, you have the ability to change everything. Sometimes we look at our past with shame or regret. We see the mistakes we made, the opportunities we let pass, the times we failed, and we feel trapped by those experiences. But what you may not know is that those same mistakes, those same falls, can become the most powerful tools for building your future. Each failure carries with it a lesson, an opportunity to grow and strengthen yourself. The most successful people in the world didn't achieve success because they never failed, but because they learned to get up after each fall. Your mistakes don't define you. What you do with them does. You can let them sink you, or you can use them as stepping stones to reach something greater. Think of your life as a story. What kind of protagonist do you want to be? Someone who gives up at the first obstacle, or someone who fights, learns, and becomes a better version of themselves? The most difficult moments of your life are the ones that shape you the most, the ones that teach you what you're really made of. And when you learn to accept your mistakes and use them to your advantage, you realize there's nothing that can stop you. Your story, with all its imperfections, is unique and powerful. It's a testimony to your resilience, your ability to overcome the impossible. So don't be ashamed of your errors. Embrace them, because in them lies the key to building the life you've always desired. Everything you've heard up to now has led you to this moment, to this decision. You could close this page and continue with your day as if nothing had happened, or you could decide that this is the beginning of something completely new. Change doesn't happen passively. It requires intention, courage, and action. Although no one can make this decision for you, the fact that you're still here reading these words shows that you're already ready to take the step. Today isn't just any day. It's a day when you have the power to rewrite your story, to leave behind the doubts, fears, and excuses, that have held you back until now. Think about everything you could achieve if you choose to commit to yourself. It doesn't matter how far you are from your goals or how many obstacles you have ahead. The only thing that matters is that today you decide to begin. Remember something important. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. The only thing you need is to take the first step, however small it may be, because that step, though it may seem insignificant, has the power to change everything. Every great achievement began with a small decision, and yours can be today. So ask yourself, what are you going to do with this moment? Are you going to let it pass like just another day? Or are you going to use it to begin the transformation of your life? The answer is in your hands. Today can be the beginning of an incredible story, and you are the only one who can write it.